In this lesson, we're going to continue discussing styles. If you'd like to follow along, go into the File menu to Open, and in the Working Files folder, go into Chapter number 8 and select the Power of Nested Styles and just click Open. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about something called nested styles. Why don't we just zoom in a little bit on the top part of our layout and get ready to begin. Nested styles are one of the most powerful type formatting features. It's a way to quickly and consistently add character styles to part or parts of a paragraph. I have some pre-existing paragraph and character styles as part of this layout. If you go into character styles, you can see there are several character styles, and paragraph styles, there are two different paragraph styles. We're going to start with a style that's called Copy with Red Lead. If I select some of the text up here, you'll see that that style is applied to the text in the top part of my layout. Let me deselect that just by clicking outside of the frame, and I'm going to double click on Copy with Red Lead to get into the settings. And I'm going to move my window out of the way, and we're going to go down to the Drop Caps and Nested Styles section. And we're going to start with something called Drop Caps. If I click my up arrow in the Lines section, you'll see when I hit Preview that I'm getting a drop cap. The second field controls the number of characters that are actually dropping. If I click my up arrow, you'll see more and more characters are actually dropping. Let me go back down to 1. I can actually apply a character style to that drop cap. If I click where it says None, I could apply red, bold caps, and you'll see that the drop cap is now red, bold, and caps. That is the simplest kind of nested style. Let me undo everything. I'm going to go back to None for the style. You can see it's no longer red and bold. And if I click the down arrow next to Lines, you're going to see that it goes away. Now let's go down into the actual Nested Styles section. To set up a new style, all I do is click the New Nested Style button. The first thing I have to do is pick a character style to nest. So where it says None and there's a pop-up menu, select red bold caps. And nothing happens. Nothing will happen until I click off of what I've just done. And now it's applied, and you can see that the first word in each one of my paragraphs is now red bold caps. And that's exactly what it says here. If you read across, it says red bold caps through one word. But what if I wanted the 2 words? What's not quite obvious is that if you click on the number 1, it is actually a field, and I can type any number in here. So if I type through 2 words and then click off of it, you'll see that the first 2 words are now red bold caps. But what if I wanted to do something else? Maybe instead of 2 words, maybe I want it to be 1. Let me click off of it. It goes back to 1 word. And instead of words, if I click on that field, that section, if I click the pop-up menu, I have a lot of choices. Like, for instance, sentences, the very first choice. If I select that and then click off of it to apply it, you'll see that the first sentence in each paragraph is now bold. Well, what happened here? Well, it's a long sentence. The entire paragraph is 1 sentence. It's looking for a period, and it didn't find the period until the end of the sentence. Let's see if this is really working. I'm going to click OK, and then just add a period someplace. And sure enough, it does work. Let's talk about the other style. I'm going to click outside of my text frame to deselect everything and scroll down the page a bit to see my address listings. And I want you to imagine for just a minute that instead of 8 listings here, there's actually 1,000. And maybe I want all of the names to be bold caps. And the title and the place that the person works will be bold italic. So is it possible to apply more than one character style that's nested in a paragraph? I'm going to double click on address listings, go down into drop caps and nested styles, and in the nested style section, I'm going to click new nested style. I'm going to pick one of my character styles from the pop-up. How about names bold caps? Nothing will happen until I click off of it. And you can see the first word is now bold and caps. But I wanted the first line. I wanted to go through the first forced line break. So if I click on where it says words, maybe in the pop-up, I could find something that says forced line break. There it is. And you can see there's a lot of choices here. I can pick a tab character, an indent to here, a non-breaking space, an M space, an N space, an anchored object marker. So there's a lot of things here, some of which we haven't even talked about yet. So I'm going to go to forced line break and nothing happens until I click off of that listing. And you can see the entire first line is now bold caps. Let me add another nested style. This time I want to do bold italic. Nothing will happen until I click off of it. And you can see just the first word is bold italic. But I want it to go through 2 forced line breaks. I'm going to click on that last section in the listing and choose how I want to stop the style. It's going to be 2 forced line breaks. And if I click off of it, you'll see that the next 2 lines are bold in italic. Really kind of cool. Well, the question right away has to be, do I have to start my first nested style at the beginning of the paragraph? Well, there's a way around that where you can start your first character style anywhere in the paragraph. I'm going to click New Nested Style so I have a third nested style, and I'm going to leave it at none. And instead of words, I'm going to select again Forced Line Break. And nothing's going to happen until I click off of it. Well, you can't see anything happening on the screen, but it has applied none to this 4th line. But I actually want none at the beginning because I want the entire first line to not have a character style applied to it. So if I click my up arrow to the lower right, you'll see that it moves up 1 level. So now the second line is none. If I click the up arrow again, now none is first. So the entire line has no character style applied to it, and my second style starts bold caps, and my third style is applied to the next 2 lines. So you can literally start your styles anywhere. You can also delete styles. Let's say I decide that I really don't want to do this, and I select my first listing and hit delete. It's going to go back to what it was, where the first style is starting at the beginning of the first line and ending at the end of the first line. If you're new to nested styles, what you should remember is you're telling InDesign what character style to apply. Then you're telling it where to end this nested character style. Once you've set up a few nested styles, it's going to become a lot easier. We're going to continue discussing nested styles in the upcoming lessons.